you get it? Is it on?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another wonderful episode in another wonderful year, 2025, of Taking Over the World with Ed and Aaron. What's up, buddy?
Aggressive. I like it.
You like it?
I like it.
All right. Are we going to put flowers in a vase?
Listen, we just had this. You know, we're in America. It's a vase.
Can I have my salad with tomatoes?
You cannot be like, hello, I'd like to put my flowers in a vase. No, like tomato, potato. No,
I know you're a no tomatoes guy anyway.
Tomato. Like, yes, when the server comes up and I order like a hamburger or something, it's like, yes, no tomato.
Why
not
don't you
no
say
tomato.
No tomatoes.
Because I don't go to no tomato or, hey, these are beautiful flowers. Could you put them in my vase? It just doesn't work.
Do you drink vase water?
No, I just drink water. Like, okay, well, that's an interesting conversation. And a whole
vase water?
No, vase water in general. Are you a water snob?
Me, no. I'll drink any kind of water.
I've never really understood it. And I know there are people out there that are like, I only drink this water. I can absolutely taste the difference. I'm not sure if you put, like, if you did like a blind taste test of like 4 different water brands, like out of like the gas station or supermarket or whatever, there's not a chance I could tell you which one it is or
I don't think I could tell you which one it is. I could tell you the difference, though. Because there's a different taste to them.
A different taste, but like, oh, this one has a hard alkaline.
Oh, no.
Like, no.
Not hard alkaline.
Alkaline. You drink the water out of your vase. Do you share it with your flowers? That's just like pet detective. Do you know the dolphin? Do you talk to the dolphin? Probably one of the greatest movies of all time. I was like, well, these words, like, why do we have to shine up like things? Like no. Like,
yes.
Like the way you say that, you might as well be like pinky out, teacup in hand, sipping on your afternoon tea and eating scrumpets and admiring your flowers in your vase and having a salad with no tomato.
Well, I taught a class yesterday at the Green Valley office, and right when I was getting my coffee, somebody showed up and said, "Oh, there's lightly baked biscuits and cookies for your tea or coffee."
What?
I swear to God, they put them on
lightly baked biscuits?
So
now in my brain, what I'm thinking is I am one scoop of gravy away from eating biscuits and gravy at a meeting. Like when I hear biscuit, I am thinking like a biscuit sandwich, like a big fluffy biscuit.
I think they were talking like shortbread cookie types things.
Then why don't they call them shortbread cookies?
Because they're called biscuits.
Where? Not here. Not in Green Valley.
Well, definitely not in the South. The South, everything's a biscuit, and everything's got gravy on it.
I just, you can lead a horse to water, buddy.
Hey, quick question. California, all your family safe?
Yeah.
Because the fire's over there.
Yeah,
by Pacific Palisades.
I saw somebody, I saw a guy that I follow on Instagram. He was actually like flying into California, and he was like shooting a video down of like through the airplane windows. Like that's wild. Wildfires. See, that's the kind of ridiculous stuff that like is just insane to think like it just sparks up like that.
Well, let's get all the pleasantries out of the way real quick, and then we'll get into everything. How was your Christmas?
Feliz Navidad. It was excelente.
Good.
Low key.
How was your New Year's?
Listen, let's talk about New Year's. New Year's Eve, splendid. Drove home from Arizona. New Year's Day was an emotional roller coaster.
It was. New Year's Eve was really nice.
You know what? On New Year's Eve, you scared me. On New Year's Eve, you scared me.
Why did
I thought we were going to the ER. I thought we were like all hands on deck. Call everybody you know.
Why?
Because
it's not like I called you drunk.
That's fair. I would have been okay with that. Like that would have been hilarious.
Shout out to ASU.
Listen. We can get into that story next. That was an emotional. That was a day for me. Because I'm a night owl guy.
Right.
Like, so I'm always up late, or I pass out at like 10:30. I wake up at 11:30. I'm like, hey, I got my second win. Like, right? You are an early to bed, freaking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, out the door, ready to go guy. So there I am laying on my couch, and I've already taken my little 10:15 to 10:45 nap. So now I'm kind of back up. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. We're getting close to the New Year's. I'm watching a show, and here it comes. Boom, there goes the ball drop. Wow, hilarious, awesome. Here we go. Now it's 2:25. Nothing, no weird like Y2K things happened of being the 25 years or anything, right? And about 12:15, I hear bup, bup, bup on my phone. It's like, I'm like, what the hell? Like, that's like that, like you can tell when it's like a notification vibrate on your phone or like a text message.
Right.
I'm like, who is texting me? And like on my screen, I see Ed Rossi, and I'm just like, oh shit, this can't be good. I'm like, because the homeboy's been asleep for at least 5 hours. At least 5 hours. And I'm like, okay, all right, I see my car keys. I'm like, I'll go. Let's go. Let's get these shoes laced up. We're going to the ER. We're going somewhere. Somebody needs help. Somebody has fallen and they can't get up. Life alert has been pressed. Listen, I was getting ready to go. And it was a delightful message. It's just a happy New Year's, thankful for all this stuff, excited for the New Year. And I was like, this MFer. I'm like, it caught me. You scared me. I was like, I had that moment where I saw it's like when my mom calls me at like 11 o'clock at night or like 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, oh, this can't be good.
And usually it's just, she just remembered something.
Yeah. But that's where my brain goes.
Yeah, your brain goes to that. Yeah, it's like
because it's out of the norm. So I'm just all right. Here we go.
You know what? You just go down rabbit holes
fast,
dude. It's like you go head first, dive down a slide into a rabbit hole.
I think now I get why rabbits, like they say, the rabbit hole, because like rabbits are fast.
Right.
And I get into that hole fast. I rabbit into that hole.
Like Lindsay, who just joined the team.
See,
shout out to her.
She confirmed my theory.
Yeah, we're telling her about the whole Blue Angels saga that I'm on and everything that I want to do, and then I tell her, well, me, I'm not afraid. You, on the other hand, can't even, white knuckling the planes. You're like, I don't white knuckle. We explained to her, and she was in the Coast Guard.
Yes, I explained to her.
The military.
Shout out to them. I explained to her the guy at the bar at 8:30 in the morning theory.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then she proceeds, instead of just trying to calm you down,
piles on.
Which that's why she's a perfect fit for the team. Instead of just like saying, no, that doesn't happen. She's like, oh, no, you're absolutely right. They kick out the window and they jump out with their parachutes.
I think she even told me they had like a secret door they can go out.
That was the second part. She's like, oh, no, they also have a secret slide. You just slide out the bottom and just go. And now in your head, you have seat ejections.
Yeah.
They're gone.
Gone. They left us to fend for ourselves. Our plane is flying with one engine, one wing, headed towards disaster. And these guys
And they didn't even put down the masks.
No. So we're completely unaware. Pilot 1, Pilot 2 have strapped on their parachutes and hit Ecto Ceto buttons, and they're just chilling. They're on a parachute ride while we're on a death trap. So, yeah, there you go.
So, I know you want to talk about this because this is very heartbreaking for you.
Go for it.
But I thought it was the most entertaining game of the playoffs so far.
Here's the deal.
But unfortunately, Arizona State lost in double overtime.
That they did. And here's my issue with it. It was just like a bad relationship, right? Like it was like
bad relationship.
It was like, like junior high, maybe a freshman in high school, maybe sophomore, like there's like, like you're finally getting the courage up to talk to like some hot girl that you have no chance with, right? Like,
right.
So like you roll into high school.
Right.
Okay? And this is us, ASU, get the number 4 seed. We've far exceeded expectations.
Anything.
We were plus 10,000 on the sports book to win the Big 12, and we win the Big 12.
And you didn't bet it.
Here we are rolling in as the number 4 seed, which I do think they need her. Once I like how they got the teams in because it gave. Literally UNLV was one win away from being in the college football playoff. Right, wrong, or indifferent, I think it makes football fun at the end of the year and gives these other teams a chance to at least experience it.
Right.
Once you get in, we got to figure out how to reseed the teams because even as a diehard ASU guy, I just don't think we should be in a 4 spot. But nonetheless, okay, we roll in as ASU being like the, freshman on campus, right? Here comes Texas, like this senior girl,
super
hot, maybe just mentally super hot, doesn't always have to be physical.
No.
Nonetheless, there is this person that is out of reach, and you're okay with that.
Right.
You're okay with that. That's how I was going into the game. Like, hey, Texas is a 14-point favorite. I get it. They're legit. If we keep this game close, killer season. Hats off. Way to go, Sun Devils. Let's go. We roll out. Boom, boom, bang. Getting our butts kicked in. Here we go. Nailed it. Perfect. Let's keep it close.
Can't even get more than 3 yards a run.
Scata's got a boo-boo. You know, like he's being banged around. He can't get nothing going. And so I'm like, all right, doing some projects in the garage. Then all of a sudden I hear my wife yelling, Braxton yelling.
Oh, she was yelling?
Yeah, she was getting in. She's like, oh my God, no way. And Braxton's like, touchdown. I'm like, I'm doing like the quick math in my head. I'm like, okay, we're still like, we're losing obviously, but we're competitive. So then I kind of walk back into the kitchen. I peek. I'm like, oh, okay. So then we go, we score. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, I found out that the hot girl at school kind of likes me. I'm like, we got a chance here. Okay. So that's, then the emotional roller coaster starts where now I'm thinking like, yo, we had no chance. Now I'm like, we have a chance.
Right.
Okay. And then like, hey, maybe it's like time to ask her to prom, like whatever. We're in the plan.
Right.
And then
she said hello to you in the halls.
Yeah. then we get kicked in the junk with that lack of targeting call. Then it's like her boyfriend shows back up. Like, okay, this isn't gonna work. We thought we had it, but we just don't. And then we go to overtime, and like the writing was on the wall. We're sitting at 4th and 13. Like we're all but Dayton now. Like, we win. I'm literally like now I'm like fully engaged. Now I've shut down all my stuff, and maybe this was my fault. Because I'm just still pacing around the house, like peeking around corners. Because I'm like, obviously at the Peach Bowl, they can see me in my house, and they know, Scatterboo knows, like if I'm watching, like not to do well. Like that's what's going through my brain. Oh, okay. So like I'm like peeking around corners to watch the game and stuff. And when we're sitting at 4th and 13, I'm like, dude, it's over. We just beat Texas. Like we are going to homecoming with the homecoming queen. We nailed it. Perfect. And then our hearts were ripped out. And then she's like, haha, this was all prank, and like smashed a pie in my face. And then it was over. It was over just like that. It ended so fast that the broadcast didn't even really show the final touchdown because they hadn't even gone back live yet. I'm like, we're like looking like, what just happened? So it tugged on my heartstrings. It was a very emotional day.
But it was funny because we were watching, not funny. I actually thought that ASU would hang. I thought they would lose because Texas is.
Listen, I agree. I'd already made peace with it.
I thought they were going to win. I thought the 13.5 or 14-point favorites. I think that was a bit much.
Okay.
Because you were disrespecting a school that actually won their league and was
right.
Doing. So I was like, yeah, maybe that's a little. But Texas is a powerhouse, so let's give them the benefit of the doubt. And I thought it was actually the most entertaining game.
It was good. It really was.
The whole playoff so far.
It had a little bit of everything in there.
Yeah, and what's interesting is Scatterboo really didn't do much, and then they cut to an interview on the sidelines, the reporter on the sideline said, yeah, we just saw Scatterboo projectile vomiting on the sidelines.
He was exercising the demons.
Really weird. My son's like, oh, they didn't show that? I'm like, I don't think nobody wants to see that.
It's true.
But after that,
on like Donkey Kong.
Dude, I think he just needs to get the demons outside of him.
That's what I'm saying.
Because he was ready to go. He threw a touchdown, ran a touchdown.
Dude, wild situation.
He was just a stud.
It was a good.
I'm almost hoping the Dolphins draft him.
No, man, I'm hoping the Raiders. We need the Raiders to get him.
No, I want Dolphins.
I mean, listen, like the one thing that goes through my head when I see that guy, I'm like, dude, are we watching Mike Allstott 2.0?
That's why I want the Dolphins to get him.
It's so
but the only problem is then he'd compete with Ingold, and I like Ingold. Ingold's a good fullback.
Yeah. Scatterboo, like, reminds me, like, and I think I was talking to somebody about it. Maybe it was you. It was like, could you imagine, like, Tim Tebow, right? Like,
right.
He was obviously a beast of a college quarterback. I think it's just a different game, and it is what it is. And it just didn't translate very well to the NFL. But, like, what Scatterboo's going to come in and be in the NFL, like that new hybrid position, and I think the popularity of the tight end position has become so big now. I just wish, like, Tebow would have just, like, converted to be, like, an H-back tight end guy. Like, that guy would still be trucking people.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that guy had, like, 2 ounces of body fat, fast. I mean, and, like, then you see Scatterboo throw, like, dude, have him, like, on a, some screen pass, something. I mean, dude, that guy was a monster.
So did you see the Rose Bowl game?
Yes.
Did you see that the quarterback got snubbed?
As far as
They wouldn't let him on the platform. with the
oh
reception.
yeah, the Ohio State quarterback, yeah. The guy's like, no, you can't come up here, dude.
You know why?
Why?
Because when they did his post-game interview, this is what everybody's saying. The first thing he did was, I want to thank Jesus Christ, my Savior.
That can't be right.
That's what everybody's saying, dude. It's all over social media.
Well, they also said a blocked field goal that bounced and then went over the upright should count as 3.
It should.
I'm not sure that's a real rule.
That's a rule.
I think it's, I don't know.
It's a rule. Why would they say it's a rule if it's not a rule?
Just to get people like us to talk about it. I mean, I got to imagine.
We're not that famous for them to be having us talk about it.
Bro, there's so many people that tune in. Like, I think this is 2025, bro. I think somebody would have caught it.
I don't know. I thought somebody would have called it targeting.
I just don't.
I thought somebody would have called that targeting.
I think so too. But at least they reviewed it.
Wait, what did they review? That they could have knocked it. Unless your head is taken completely off your shoulders, you're okay.
Yeah, that was stupid.
I mean, come on, dude.
That was stupid. I just don't get how you like. You know what? This is close enough to look at. Okay, perfect. I see him going over the middle. I see the defender lowering his head. I see him leading with the crown of his helmet. I see him making helmet to helmet contact. Okay, perfect. No targeting. Like what? What? Even they had, I forget who the NFL, like the rules guy on, or the college rules guy, whoever it was like, yeah, I'd be surprised if they don't overturn this.
And they didn't.
Bastards.
That would put you guys in field goal range.
We win the game.
That's it.
They stacked the deck against us.
I mean, they had what? This no-name soccer player turned into kicker.
That's how we roll. That's how we roll, dude. That's how we roll. Straight out of the bar, straight into kicking field goals, bro. Guy probably took like. Do you remember the movie The Replacements?
Yes,
that's like our kicker, bro.
The one smoking.
Yeah, he's like having his shot, smokes, like just like we're pulling kickers out of this.
Australian or German or British, and he had the long blonde hair.
Dude, incredible.
He looked like a bar guy.
Incredible
movie. Show up.
Keanu Reeves, that might have been. I mean, The Matrix, I get it, but I don't know. The Replacements might be his.
That's a really good.
I mean,
movie.
obviously you got Point Break, just classic.
Right.
But I'll tell you what, The Replacements, the unsung hero of Keanu Reeves' movie career.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I heard something else. Rudy, the movie Rudy.
Rudy.
Everybody says that, like in real life, he was a jerk.
I've kind of heard that too.
That he would like go full speed to people, and hit them.
Trying to make
in
the team,
practice
bro.
when the people weren't doing it, and that they actually carried him off the field as a joke, not because he got on there, as a joke. I heard it the other day.
Interesting.
You know, I get all my information and all my news
I'll
from
tell you
a very worthy source.
I will tell
it's
you.
called TikTok.
What is not a joke?
What is not a joke? Oh no.
The attitude which we're hitting 2025 in.
What do you mean?
I think it's no joke. I think, there's been a lot of conversation about, changing of the board members here with the real estate, organization. There's been a lot of talk about what's going to happen with new presidents, interest rates, all this stuff. And you got so many people, in dues coming up. I mean, we've seen a thinning of the herd with the real estate agents. And, there was some conversations the other day and I was just kind of thinking, and I heard you talking to somebody like, we'll be fine. And I think it's just a testament to how we've finished 2024 strong and went into 2025. I mean, we've already, we're 6-7 days in with 3 closings, maybe probably one more this week. And I think we just updated the board, like 5 escrows going right now.
Yeah, I mean, right now we have one more closing, probably 2 this month.
Oh, at least 2.
At least 2 more this month.
Probably 3.
Maybe 3 this month. And then we have already 2 on the board for next month.
Right.
So, yeah, it's...
When I think we had a really good conversation yesterday morning, and I think that's what, this time of the year, everybody is, my New Year's resolution, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And a lot of people get very result oriented. Right. And that's what I was talking about. We were talking about just our dynamics and how and for a while last year, I was very result oriented. I was like, oh, I got it. This closing. And you start to lose sight. And I think that's what, a lot of these New Year's resolutions, I'm going to lose 20 pounds. I'm going to lose this. I'm going to. Right. But nobody talks about that process. Like the result is the outcome of the hard work of your process. And it's back to like, and if you don't enjoy the process, like the result is never going to come or it's never going to be consistent because you're always chasing that prize. Well, I'm going to lose 20 pounds. Okay. But yet you don't love the process. You don't like going to the gym. You don't like eating semi-healthy.
Right.
You just like, what? You just expect to take the magic pill? And I think that's what, just like real estate, and you're like, oh, I'm going to do this cleanse, this juice cleanse. I'm going to eat a tapeworm, or, God knows what, right? And the same thing happens to real estate. Like, I'm not going to prospect because I saw this over the holiday. I read this book that says, like, if I stand on one leg and shake a bell, like listings are going to fall out of a tree. It's like everybody wants this secret magic potion, but because they want the result, but they don't want to handle the process.
So you said something the other day. It's something or consistency.
Intensity
Or
is good. Consistency is great. But yes, intensity, we were comparing the two. We were comparing the two, intensity and consistency.
Right. And I think that's what happens, right? The consistency is, I think it's Simon Sinek, maybe?
I don't know. Could be.
He's a fact checker over there. Can you look him up?
Statistician.
Yeah. Please,
She's
Amanda. She's like, since when did I get involved in this?
Thanks, but no thanks.
But
I'm good.
he talks about like motivation and stuff. And one of the things that he talks about is like, you go to the gym. Like you use the gym as the example, right? You go to the gym, and for the first day you go to the gym, you look in the mirror, nothing's changed.
Right.
You go to the gym for a week, nothing's changed. But it's that little bit you're doing every day that time over time will give you the results that you want.
Right. Well, and that's the consistency part.
You find him? Simon?
Garfunkel.
Sinek. I believe it's Sinek.
But that's the consistency part, right? Like it's eating healthy over a long time, going
right?
to the gym over a long time. A lot of people, the intensity part is like, I'm going to lose 20 pounds. I literally went to the gym today for the first time and I worked out for 8 hours. Right? Like that's the intensity part, right? Like you jump all in, like 8-hour gym session, lost 20 pounds. Like, oh shoot, no, it didn't happen. Right? Like, or like, yep, 2025, my year. I'm calling expires. I'm calling for sale by owners. I'm prospecting like everything. You come out one day and you're like, I prospected for 8 hours, right? It's like that intensity. Nothing happened. So then they give up, but it's the consistency. If you, instead of going 8 hours on one day, if you go 8 days of 1 hour, 20 days of 1 hour, that 30 days, it's that building the consistency, which really, that's where the rubber
is.
Yeah, that's where the rubber meets the road there.
That's the goal. The goal is how do you continuously do the activities every day? Because we were talking about it yesterday, and to be frank with everybody, it's we were talking about looking at the results and focus on just the result of what we're doing versus the process to get to the results. Because the results are going to come by.
Right.
And we see this all the time. Like I talk to agents both on the team, off the team that have been with real estate for a while, and you always hear like they're always looking for the magic pill to make money.
Right.
Right? Everybody's looking for how do we get to the next transaction? How do we get to the next thing? And I think to our credit, we try to be honest with people. There is no magic pill.
Right.
People blame brokerages. People blame. It doesn't matter who you blame. The fact of the matter is, and that's what I try to tell people, if you have a regular job, or if you have a job, what are you you have to work.
Right.
And everybody thinks that in this business, you don't have to work. Well, then how are you going to get things done? Because you have to work. This is a job. It could be fun. You have flexibility. You get to do what you want to do, and you get to have fun while you're doing it. But at the end of the day, it's still a job. Like you still have to do something.
Yeah.
You can't just show up and transactions are just going to fall out of the sky.
Well, and I think those are the agents that when you talk to, like, I'll talk to like my buddies or friends, or we'll be somewhere like, hey, like, like, man, how's work? Is it pretty slow? I'm like, no, not really. Like, dude, honestly, like this last couple of months have been freaking crazy, like busy. Like, oh yeah, so-and-so was telling me, I was talking to them and they're saying like the market was kind of slow. I was like, and you look at who that person is, you're like, well, yeah, they're a weekend warrior, So it's like these people that don't treat it as a job, they're always blaming all the outside factors. It's never their fault because they're in there one day that they show up a week to do real estate. Like it's the market. Like if they don't sell something, it's not their fault. It's the market's fault. There's not enough inventory. There's too much inventory. The rates are too high. The competition's too great, or there's not enough this, or it's like those are all excuses. And so when I hear people say, "Oh, I was talking to so and so," and they said, I was like, I'll tell you right now, then they're not treating it like a job. They're not in it. The market, like the market has changed. Market changes every single day. It's different today than it was yesterday. Like it's an ongoing thing. But the people will be like, well, yeah, it's just trying to figure out the right time to buy. Dude, the right time to buy is when we build a strategy that works for you, understand your big why, and we find the place that checks all the boxes. And you're right. It's like those people are the ones that are always complaining, but those are the ones that aren't treating it like a job.
So I thought the class I taught yesterday it's this series of classes, and it's called Ignite. And the class I taught yesterday was Embrace Your Job, which I picked that one on purpose.
Right.
And I kept asking. It was funny because I asked everybody in the class, probably 9 new agents, and I'm like, "Hey, what is our job?" And I love asking that question to people,
Right.
like, "What is our job in real estate?" Because everybody gives you every single answer, but lead generate. They give you everything. They give you show houses, sell houses, negotiate contracts, get people to close, explain the process to people, support people. But nobody says, no, you lead generate. And I'm like, guys, if you don't lead generate, you can't do any of those other things.
Yeah.
You need to create the leads in order to be able to do those things. And if you don't do those things, if you don't lead generate, you can't do those things.
When I think that goes down to like that job description of a real estate agent. Nobody thinks it's like, I shouldn't say nobody. A lot of people, when they get into it, don't really understand that this is a sales position, right? It took me a while to like grasp, like I don't come from a sales background. I come from, my other business, customer service. There are sales and stuff like that, but you're not going out to lead generate those sales. Like
Right.
We do marketing and all that stuff, but a little bit different of how you go about it. And so now when you have people that come in, they're just like, oh, no, I'm not a salesman. I'm not a salesman. I'm in real estate. Like it literally says on your license that you get salesperson. Like that's what you are.
Right.
And to your point, like they don't treat it like, they just think like I thought when I first came to the office, I first got my license from this perspective and this side. I'm like, all right, cool, man. Where do I sit down? Where's the telephone? Like, when does it start ringing? It's like, no, this is not one of those jobs where you just come in, they give you a desk and you just start fielding phone calls and you go to work. Like you have to be a salesperson.
You have to create the environment where the phone rings.
Yes.
Because the phone does not ring if you don't make it ring. This is not, I tell everybody, this is not a 7-Eleven. This is not, like, this job is not one where as soon as I look...
Do you mean this is not the square footage of an acre?
No.
Isn't that 7-Eleven?
7-Eleven.
Isn't that your thing?
43,560.
See, there you go.
No, this is not that one thing where you show up, you unlock the doors, and people are coming in to buy
100%.
to buy a gallon of milk, to buy a soda, to buy an iced tea, to buy a energy drink, to buy whatever. Like this isn't that. You unlock the door and you're gonna hear cricket.
Yeah,
there's nothing going on.
That strategy is called hope and prayer.
Yeah, like you can literally unlock the doors of a real estate. You can leave it probably unlocked all day.
Yeah.
And ain't nobody walking in. So, not that people leave your business unlocked. I'm not telling you to do that. But you can literally leave it unlocked and nobody's going to walk in.
Right.
Because that's not the business we're in anymore. It used to be back in the day before computers got really big and people started, the MLS and all that stuff and all the websites. It used to be where people used to walk in. You used to have to ask for floor time.
Right.
Because floor time was valuable. Sitting in an office waiting for people to come in was valuable. People did that.
I think in the 5 years that I've been here, I've talked to or seen maybe less than 5 people walk in.
I can tell you, I've been in this office since 2014. I've had 3 people walk in that they've asked me to go talk to.
Yeah.
And I've closed 1 deal.
Yeah.
So if that was my strategy, I epically failed.
You be broke.
I epically failed at that strategy.
You be like that one. You be like that one reel where the kid's like reading. It's like he's reading the thing. He's like, "Hey, Tyrone has 1 penny and 2 nickels. You know how much money does he have? Hey, he ain't got no money. Tyrone broke." Have you seen that little kid?
No.
Oh my God, it's the best. It's the best one in the world. Oh my God, I almost pee every time I watch it. He goes, "How much money do you have? He ain't got no money. He broke." But
So-
that is, you're right. I mean,
So, what is your strategy for 2025? Don't tell me hope and pray, because I'll take this mic off and hit you.
I'm just gonna unlock the door.
I
No,
didn't
you
use
know,
that as an excuse.
I've gotten away from, I didn't set any goals like, my weight loss goal is going to be this or that. I think for me, it's a mindset change. My goals for me personally, I think that will lead to results is one, just being more direct, with myself, with clients, like not being afraid of confrontation and conflict. And I think that alone will help me fall back in love with the process of calling the for sale by owners. That's where I first started and had a lot of success, and, calling the expireds, doing the circle prospecting. And because at some points you get fortunate with your SOI, because sometimes with your SOI, you stay out there enough with video content, social media content, just talking to your SOI, the deals come in. But
Right.
it's like, to really get to the next level, you've got to be willing to step outside of that zone. And for me, being more direct with myself and falling back in love with that process, that's my vision for 2025, to get back to be uncomfortable. It's okay what people tell you. No, this is a numbers game when you start going that way, and we're gonna make it rain.
Well, see, my whole thing was I wanted to get very consistent this year at prospecting. And
Yeah.
I've done a horrible job so far this year. Like but I don't sugarcoat it. Like, I don't tell myself.
Right, back to the directness.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
I don't tell myself, oh, hey, you know what? You did it for 1 day or 2 days, and you just crushed that day. No, I sucked. I want to do it every day. I haven't done it. Because there's always results. There's always reasons,
Yeah.
right? So you can have reasons or results. I'm using the reasons not to do things because I have other things going on,
Right.
which is a lame excuse. It just needs to get done. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to jumping back on the phones and doing that whole thing. Because I do. I really enjoy being on the phones. You talk to certain people, and they're going to tell you, mainly my wife, you don't really like the phones. If not, you do it all day long. No, because it's not the funnest thing in the world sometimes.
Right.
Sometimes when you get some leads out of it and things are going,
Sure.
it's like, okay, yeah, this is fun. But when you're in the process of going through it, and you just have to learn how to love the process. And I think watching a video that I saw the other day of one of my favorite coaches, and people that know me, when I mention this coach, they're like, that's who I knew you would like him. It's Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
His personality, his just directness, his bravado, his like, I'm not gonna die. If you kick me, I'm gonna bite your kneecaps off. And if you kick me down again, I'm gonna bite your other kneecap off. Like, it's just that whole attitude and mindset is like, yeah, that's the guy I like. But he was talking to his team, and he was just telling them, he was like, guys, there's a process. You're not gonna love the process. You're probably gonna hate it. But I promise you that if we continue to do what we do on a daily basis, that we will win. And then he said something that really,
Well, and then the proof's in the pudding. What, they went 15-2?
15-2 and won the first seed. First time ever Detroit's been the first seed.
You'd have been on crazy pills and put in an asylum if 4 or 5 years ago you said, "Hey, don't worry, just trust the process. In a couple of years, we'll be 15-2 and be the number one seed." You'd have been committed.
But the reason I love him for that, right, is because that's how I am. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, this is my goal. Trust me, we're gonna get there. We just have to do the right activities. And in one of the other videos I saw of him, it was right after a practice, and it was that point in time where you're allowed to have pads on, but you don't have to have pads on, and all his guys are in full gear. And he's telling them, like, you can see the guys are he's even sweating. Like, it's just miserable outside in Detroit. It's hot, it's muggy, and he's telling them, guys, trust me. There's not a minute that goes by every day that I don't think about you guys and how we're going to do this. And I promise you, if we didn't have to have the pads on, I wouldn't. But we need to do this. And it's like prospecting, right? If there was a way I could tell you, hey, we're going to hit our numbers, we're going to hit our results, and we're going to get everything we want, and we're not gonna have the prospect. If there was a way that I knew 100% we could do it that way, that's what I'd be doing.
Right.
Regardless of the cost, regardless of anything, I would figure it out. But unfortunately, there is no other way. So it's the process. And proof is in the pudding. I mean, 15-2, number 1 seed. His team's on a roll. I mean, they thought Minnesota was going to take the 1 seed.
Yeah.
Everybody was voting against them.
Boy,
saying,
they dismantled them real.
They have 13 defensive players on injured reserve. I mean, they're just in a hot mess all the way around. And then Hutchinson's saying, hey, if we go back to the Super Bowl, I am in. See, that's the kind, like, this game, I don't know if you saw the game.
I watched it, yeah.
But during the game, they're talking about Anzalone, his linebacker.
Yeah.
And they show a picture.
Thor-looking dude.
Yeah, Thor-looking dude. And they show a picture of his arm because he broke his left arm 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. He had like a carbon plate over it or something.
Yeah, and they told him, like, he said, do not put me on injured reserve. I'm going back. I'm coming back. Because injured reserve, they have to be out 4 weeks and they have to recover to come back. He's like, don't put me on injured reserve. I'll be back. He came back for that game. They show the arm before the game. It's still stitched up. The
I
stitches
saw that.
And he played a ball. He was a player of the game.
Dude,
like, the guy was a stud.
He balled.
He balled. But it's the buy-in. And they were like, no, we're doing this. I don't care. I mean, I think Hutch would have been out there.
With crutches just smacking
being
people.
able to move. Like, barely being able to move. He would have been like, hey, guys, you carry this side, you carry that side, on this sack.
Well, I mean, it just goes back to that old, like the Trojan horse, the Troy story, all that stuff. Get in, ambush them, get to land, burn the boats. There's no way back. Dan Campbell said, get on the boats. Once we hit land, we're burning those suckers because we gone.
There ain't no way to come back home. We ain't coming home unless we're sitting on, we're floating on the trophy.
There it is. That's the mantra of 2025. Burn the boats.
You know what? I'm going to get that. I'm going to get that
tattooed on your...
I should get that tattooed on.
Let me get it across my belly in Old English.
Oh, yeah.
Burn the boats.
Bro, you can't even put 3 dots anywhere. You can't do a key. You can't do anything. You're not going to do no tattoo.
A key?
A key. Like a little key. Like a skeleton key.
Like I'm in real estate. Here's the key.
Yeah.
Here's the key to your future.
Yeah. Here's the key
I'm
to
gonna
your
get some
dreams.
teardrops. I'm either going to get teardrops or a spider web on my elbow. I'm going.
You're going into the most painful place. Yeah. First shot. Let's go. I'll pay for it.
I'm gonna get a unicorn tattoo,
like
a rub-on tattoo.
Didn't Andy say she'd divorce you? You got a tattoo? She was not too happy when I said we were gonna pay for it with the lunch.
Oh yeah, she just knows that I got no chance. She goes like, they'd hit me with that. I'd end up with a dot. They'd be like, nope, I'm out. Thanks. We tried.
You'd be like, hold on. Give me like the little kid.
When they put the cold numbing cream on, I'm out. Like, I didn't even touch it. Oh, I don't know. I figured they probably put something.
They don't do nothing. You go straight in.
See, that's dumb.
So you'd be like those little kids that they go to. Okay, the shots are hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
100%. 100%.
Give me a minute. I got hold on.
I'm going full. Who was it that just got like anesthesia, got knocked out, and had like an 8-hour tattoo session? Wasn't there?
Deshaun Watson. There's a
or somebody that did that. Like that's the only way I'd have to just.
Yeah, there's guys that do that to do their whole back.
That's insane.
In one shot, and they actually get knocked out, and they usually have 2 to 4 tattoo artists.
That just doesn't seem healthy.
Just tattooing everything at the same time.
I'm out. Nah. I got something.
All right, so you ready for a good 2025?
Let's do it.
Let's crush this shit.